Hey crafters, welcome back for another video here with Amanda at Crafters Autonomous. So today we're going to be learning another stitch. I've shown you a couple different stitches and this one today is really fun. And what's cool about this one is if you apply the same concept, you can make stitches that are crazy tall. I've actually got a couple pins on my Pinterest board. If you look up Crafters Autonomous on Pinterest, you should be able to find my board. And I've got a couple different infographics and things that I've pinned there from other sites. And there's one that shows, you start with like the single crochet, then the half double crochet, then the double crochet. And then the following stitch is what we're going to learn today, which is the treble crochet. And it's cool because you can apply the same idea and make the stitches taller and taller and taller, which there's not a ton of application for taller stitches, but I'm sure that if you put your mind to it, you can think of a cool way to use it. I always like to experiment with stitches. So today I'm going to be using this Sugars and Cream yarn. The color is Tangerine. And it calls for an H hook, so that's what I'm using. So we're going to try this today and see if it shows up well on the camera. But also, if you have been following along on my videos and you've been learning, I recommend that you start with red heart yarn and with a larger hook size. But hopefully, if you're at the point now where you're able to learn new stitches like what I'm going to teach today, I think you should be able to handle this yarn. It's a cotton yarn, and you don't have to worry too much about splitting the yarn, which is when the hook, breaks between the layers, but I can explain that in a little bit. So let's learn how to treble crochet. Before I start my row of treble crochet, I've got a row here of half double crochet that I'm going to work in. And if you don't know how to do the half double crochet stitch, you can click the link to watch my video that explains how to do that. But let's get started with the treble crochet. So far we know that when we make the turning chain for the single crochet, we need one chain. We need two chains for the half double crochet, 3 chains for the double crochet, and we're going to need 4 chains for the treble crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn our work. And this time we're also going to work where it's square, so we're going to let this 4 count as our first stitch. So instead of working in here, we're going to come in here. Now this stitch is very similar to the double crochet, except we're going to yarn over not just once, but twice. So before you even put the hook into the fabric, you're going to have the loop that's on here, and you're going to have 2 yarn overs. So don't get confused with a double crochet, because that just calls for 1, but we want to do 2 yarn overs. So then insert the hook where you want to work, and here's where you're going to possibly see the pattern start. You're going to yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So the basic idea is once you yarn over and pull it through just one time to pull it through the fabric itself, you're going to pull it through 2 loops at a time until you get just 1 loop on the hook. So let's do the stitch again. Yarn over twice before inserting the hook, then insert the hook, yarn over and pull through 1. So from this point forward, we're going to pull through 2 each time we yarn over until we get just 1 loop left on the hook. So pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So at first glance, you can already tell that these are pretty tall stitches. If you look at the row of half double crochet that's below, you can see that, let's fold it in half, you can kind of see that it's much taller than the previous row. Yarn over 2, insert hook, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. This stitch is also sometimes called a triple crochet, single crochet, double crochet, triple crochet. And I kind of like it being called triple crochet because there's 3 of something, and I'll show you what there's 3 of. So we yarn over twice, insert, pull it through once, and what we do 3 of is we do the pull through 2 loops 3 times. So this is our first time pulling through 2 loops, our second time pulling through 2 loops, and our third time pulling through 2 loops. And triple obviously has to do with having 3. So that's kind of an easy way to remember how to do this stitch. So let's finish up this row. And here I am at the end of this row. And so remember, we did 4 chain at the beginning, and that counts as our first treble crochet. And then we just do a treble crochet in each spot across. You can see these are pretty tall stitches. These are good for if you're working in front of or behind other stitches. Those are called front post and back post crochet stitches, and I can explain those in another video eventually. But for now, if you're doing these stitches, they're mainly just going to be tall with kind of a bit of a gap between them. And so it almost can create lacy looks and lacy textures and patterns. But if you kind of catch the idea, it's very similar to the double crochet, just instead of looping over once, we do 2 yarn overs. So the concept is you can make a stitch that's just about as tall as you want by looping it over a whole bunch of times, inserting the hook, yarning over once, and then just pulling through 2 until you end up with no loops. So just for fun, we're going to do a really tall stitch. We're going to go ahead and chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So since for the treble crochet we went over twice, and that calls for a chain of 4, since we added 2 more chain than that, we're going to do 2 extra yarn overs. So you can see I've got this loop from the chain and then 4 yarn overs. So I've got those on the hook. I'm going to insert, yarn over, pull through 1. And now here's where I start the yarn over, pull through 2 pattern. Do it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. So that's obviously a really tall stitch, and I don't know that you're going to need this for many patterns. I just wanted to show you so you kind of get the idea of the pattern that emerges with doing the multiple yarn overs and then pulling through 1 versus pulling through 2. So we'll do another one of these crazy tall stitches, and this actually does have a name. I just can't remember off the top of my head, and it probably means something along the lines of 5 because we pull it through to 5 times. But you can see that makes some really tall stitches versus if I were to do just a double crochet where I yarn over 1, insert, pull through 2, pull through 2. Kind of see that it's so much shorter that these are having to bunch over so that way they can fit next to the double crochet. But that's just kind of some fun stuff, the second row. Let's review the treble crochet one more time. I do see the treble crochet a good bit in projects. Generally speaking, as far as patterns and projects online go, a treble crochet, which is this row here, that's about as tall of a stitch as you'll need for most things. So we'll go ahead and we'll practice this one more time so you get the hang of it, and then you know a lot of stitches, and that's pretty awesome. So we're going to chain 4 for our turning chain, turn the work, yarn over twice before inserting the hook and yarning over once, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over twice, insert the hook, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And there you go. You've got a couple rows of triple or treble crochet forming. Thanks for watching my video. I hope that this tutorial was helpful and enabled you to learn another stitch. I also want to mention that if you see that stitch in a pattern, it will be abbreviated, usually TR for treble or triple. I have seen it abbreviated a couple times, TRC for treble crochet or triple crochet, but usually if you're looking at a pattern, it will say TR as the abbreviation. So that's handy to know if you see it in a pattern. But I hope that helps you and that stitch comes in handy when you're working on different projects and things. And until next time, bye! I don't know why. I mean, maybe it's because the brand name is Sugar and Cream. That makes me think of it. But these always remind me kind of little cupcakes, which is funny because there actually is a kind of yarn that's called a cupcake. But it makes me want to, like, put the hook in there. And see, doesn't it look like a little cupcake with a candle on it? See, that's a little candle. And I would sing Happy Birthday, but I'm pretty sure that song's copyrighted. So I'm not going to sing Happy Birthday so I don't get in trouble. So instead we're just going to pretend that we're all listening to the Happy Birthday song. And it's no one's birthday, by the way. At least it's not mine. Maybe it's yours. If it's yours, happy birthday. And here's a cupcake. But if it's not your birthday, then happy unbirthday to you too.